Let's now talk about interactivity with Muse. The first interactive item I'd like to talk with you about are dynamic menus. So while we can create menus manually with hyperlinks between pages, there's a lot better way to do this, and that is to let Muse dynamically create it for you. So if we go down to our master page, we can pick either one we want, and we go to the widget library, which is right up here on the right, you'll see you have multiple options, but the one we're going to be doing is menus. And since we really have a nice place here to add a menu, let's do that. We're going to add the horizontal menu, and you'll see I'm simply just dragging it and dropping it in. Now, as soon as you drop it in, you get a bunch of options here that you'll want to take a look at depending on what items you need. And we can customize this in many ways, but let's first just look. You can see right now you can choose to have top level pages, all pages, and this shows our sub pages here, or a manual, where you would put them in yourself. But let's just do top level pages. And again, horizontal because it makes sense. We're going to choose to edit together so that when we make a change to one, we're going to make a change to all of them. And uniform size just seems to make the most sense. This is what uniform spacing looks like now. Not bad either. It just depends on what you're looking for. I think if you're running into something that has a long word or a series of words, then uniform spacing may be the way to go. But for now, uniform size is going to work for us. The option to show a left icon if you'd like an icon in your menu, your label. That, of course, makes sense, unless you're going to do what they call mystery meat, where you only show an icon and you, and you don't have a label, which I do not recommend. And then you've got the options for sub-menus if you want to show an icon for that, and then the different positioning as well. We're just going to leave all that the same. Now you can see here that we can drag and resize it however we need to. I'm going to make it pretty big just to give us a little room to play around. Okay. And you'll also notice here that I've adjusted my guides, my header guides, so that they're more consistent. And I may need to go in and adjust them again depending on how it looks on the other pages. You want to always kind of roll back and see if your other pages look good and look how you expect them to look. Now you'll notice that this automatically picked up the names of the pages. I didn't do that. That is what happens whenever you plan this out properly and you've got your top level pages. Muse automatically then goes in and populates that too. And if you go in your preview, even though this is a default, you'll see that it works. It's got its own kind of default rollover state, and it goes to our little pages that we've created. They don't look very good, but you get the hint. So if we go back into design mode here, and this again, we're in the master page, we can take a look at each rollover effect and adjust it to however we want it to look. Most of the time, I doubt you're going to want this real generic gray background with white text. So what we can do is kind of drill down here to change the fill color. And I'm going to make it fairly obnoxious so we can see because it just goes with the rest of it. We can also change the type. So we've got the text here, and we can change it to... And you'll notice how all of them changed because we selected that they all are adjusted the same, which just makes sense. I mean, there may be times where you'd want to adjust it individually, but I would think for most sites you're going to have it pretty consistent, unless you have some kind of really wacky site going on, which is totally cool, but you know, we're going to go with conventional items here. Okay. And we can also change the font here as well. I should have showed you that as well. Oops, I'm getting click happy here. Here's Lucinda. Now when we preview this, we'll see that these are orange like we had asked it to be, and the color, the font is different and the right size and all that, but the rollover state still hasn't been created yet. So we're going to go back in and work on that as well. I'm going to kind of back out of here. And then I'm going to drill down again. So here I'm at the highest level. I'm going to click on it, double click on it again, and now you see I have the option here for a menu item. Now this is the normal state, and you can see that. But now you see how our rollover state, rollover, mouse down, active, changes. It's because we didn't change it from the default, so we'll need to do that. So the quickest way to do this for all of them is just to trash this current one that we have. All right. And now we can change it to whatever we want. So, and then we're going to change the rollover state from mouse down. Let's make that like one shade lighter. And then active. I don't know if we'll be able to see that based on the preview that I have. Let's just make that brown. Sure, why not? So now we can see all of our different states. We've got normal, rollover, mouse down, active. And that should show for all of these. Yep, there we go. We can check and see. They all were edited together. Now let's go into preview mode, and we'll see the difference now. So we've got a rollover state, our active, and now this, I'm sorry, click and then active. Same thing here. And you'll notice too that I didn't have to tell it where to go. It already populated all of that, which I think is really cool. Okay. So let's also talk about creating hyperlinks. You saw how easy it was to create a menu here. Let's go into our plan mode and pick a page to create some hyperlinks on. Since this is the only one right now that has some dummy text in it, we'll work on that. So the first thing we want to do to create a link is to highlight whatever it is that we want to have be the actual text link. So this is a text link. And I'm going to close out this panel here real quick, the text panel, so that you can see up here there's an option for hyperlinks. And we can add or filter hyperlinks. Now we can create one that goes outside of it, like we could go to Google. I'm not sure if I need the HTTP or not. Let's try just Google and see what happens. Okay, it automatically adds HTTP for me. There you go. You can also link it to other pages of your site that's already been created. You'll see them all available right here, which is really nice. Again, another reason to set up your plan properly and go through it and give it some thought as far as architecture. But of course, you can always change that too, so it's not like you need to be married to that particular architecture. You can always change it. Now we see that once we've added a hyperlink, it does your standard web bright blue underline hyperlink. But most sites you're going to want to have that changed to fit your color scheme. So to do that, we're going to click on the actual word hyperlinks. Here we can choose to open it in a new window, which I'm going to since it's off-site and I prefer to do it that way. I can also include a tooltip. Google is nice. And then I can change my style. Now right now I don't have a style set up for this, so I need to edit link styles. I'm going to come in and create a new one here, and I'm going to call it my link style. And now I can change these to be whatever I want, whatever's going to fit with my site. These are terrible, but you know, what's the fun in having it be too easy? And then you also have the option of a favicon image if you so choose. We're just going to click OK, and now we've defined that style. So now we can go up, and instead of having the default, we can do my link style. And let's preview that and see how that looks. So here we go, on mouse over we see it, active, and then it should link out to Google. Okay. Preview mode is your best friend when it comes to these things, especially the rollover states, since you can't really view them dynamically within the Muse. Within the design mode, you absolutely have to go to preview mode, but it gets you a very, very good assessment of where you're at, and it even lets you click on it as well. Up next, we're going to talk about adding slideshows.